From KCRG TV9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday evening edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist Thompson.
And I'm meteorologist Messier.
And coming off a holiday week that was, pretty decent weather-wise, aside from the fog that didn't seem to want to go away. A little more active this week at times.
Yeah, we're looking at some chances for snow showers in the forecast. Having some snow on the ground would be kind of nice.
I'm going to have your latest look at your forecast for fun. We're going to look back at some New Year's past and see how the weather stacks up on the first year of the calendar year typically.
I bet it's cold.
Fingers crossed, we'll find out in just a little bit. But first, what you need to find out tonight on your way out the door, what you need to know is the rain and snow that we've got starting across the area. If you haven't felt it yet, it will begin in your neck of the woods here in the next couple of hours. Now, our northern zones will be likely to be the least of this, but all of us have a chance to see some more snow over the next 9 days. And then we will also watch those much colder temperatures that are on the way. We'll be seeing those numbers turn less and lower and even negative in a few cases. Now, pinpoint Doppler radar shows all of us experiencing precipitation right now, if you believed exactly what it was showing. However, there are places where there is radar returns showing up and it's not falling toward the ground. Generally at this point, it's mostly to the northeast of this line, Cedar Rapids near the Quad Cities. So if you're up in Dubuque and areas near Oldwine and New Hampton, a sprinkle or a flurry may be trying to fall, but we just haven't seen many reports of that just yet. Now it's this area off to our west where we've seen some of the more significant areas of precipitation in terms of causing wet roadways and even some of those areas causing some slick roadways. For the most part though, things are okay. Our Iowa City cam showing some of those wet streets down below if you look closely. Otherwise, light rain falling. Temperatures in the 30s, so it's a chilly rain and winds out of the northeast, swinging about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our visibility has not been as much of an issue for most of us today, but there still are a few communities in our northern counties dealing with dense fog. So watch out for that in Decorah and Fayette and Charles City. But even that should improve as we go through the night into the morning hours with this storm system. Temperatures headed toward the low 30s as we head toward the start of your Tuesday as that rain-snow mix continues. A little more detail on how much of this we could see out of this system in just a little bit. But first, some things going on with the holiday week this week too, back to back with Christmas. Meteorologist Messier has a look at your forecast for fun.
The holidays continue, and in this forecast for fun, we have some fun things to talk about. We have this walking forecast. If you want to go for a walk on Tuesday, pick the afternoon because the morning we're going to be pretty rainy and snowy and you'll need to bundle up. 36 degrees and windy on Tuesday, but for New Year's Day, a very seasonal day for you, 29 degrees and partly cloudy for January 1st, and Thursday 27 degrees and partly cloudy. So as we begin the new year, great walking conditions as long as you wear those coats, hats and gloves. Now speaking of the New Year's, the ball drop forecast has partly cloudy conditions with temperatures in the 20s around midnight. So if you want to be out and about watching for 2025, just, bundle up there too and you should be good to go. Next up, of course, is New Year's Day. Partly cloudy in the upper 20s. So a pretty nice start to 2025. Typically on New Year's, we have highs, the warmest high, 63 degrees in the year 1897. The coldest high ever recorded on January 1st in Cedar Rapids was -7 in 2018. The wettest, 0.86 in 1965, and the most snow ever recorded for the start of a new year, 4.5 inches in 1985. That's today's forecast for fun. I hope you enjoy your New Year's.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Messier.
Your first alert has rain, snow, and wind highlighted on it this evening. First, let's talk about that rain and snow. So a wintry mix is what we're seeing in a lot of places overnight tonight. That's going to continue into your Tuesday morning, lingering into potentially the afternoon. And wind also highlighted on your first alert because it's going to be pretty blustery as well. We're going to have wind gusts above 20 miles per hour beginning late tonight and then continuing into tomorrow. So whichever way you put it, it is not going to feel all that great out there tomorrow with the winds. Now, Dubuque, it's pretty quiet right now. Hasn't really started precipitating in Dubuque yet, We have temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, 37 in Cedar Rapids, 39 in Washington, with winds not too bad yet. They're coming out of the northeast around 5 to 15 miles per hour. On our live pinpoint Doppler radar, like Corey mentioned, a lot of this isn't reaching the ground quite yet, but as we continue through the overnight hours, that is going to change. Looking at our central and south zones, we're seeing some of those radar returns in places like Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. Our central and south zones are going to be more likely to see more of that precipitation as we head into the overnight hours. And then again, we're getting some radar returns with some precipitation in the north, but again, a lot of that isn't quite reaching the ground yet. Same in other places. So now as we look ahead to our tonight's setup, a low pressure system situated over the Missouri and Illinois. This is really what's causing a lot of that precipitation overnight tonight. And as it moves east, that's when the system is going to just head to the east. Timing things out, we have that rain and snow continuing through the overnight hours. Then past midnight into Tuesday morning, we'll likely see that rain and snow again. Best chances will be in the central and south zones of seeing some of that precipitation lingering into Tuesday morning before exiting to the southeast, with those winds coming out of the north. And even as the precipitation moves to the southeast, we'll still be under a good amount of cloud cover through the afternoon, gradually seeing that break up a little bit as we head into Tuesday evening. Just looking at about a trace to 1 inch of snow possible across eastern Iowa. The highest totals, again, are going to be a bit farther to the south and our central and southern zones. So the further south you are, the more likely it is you'll get that snow to maybe stick up to 1 inch. Just watch for slick spots, though, in places you do see that snow, especially on bridges and overpasses and untreated areas. Overnight, lows dropping into the 20s and 30s, 29 degrees in Fayette, 29 in Decorah, and 32 in Washington, with winds coming out of the north, 20 to 30 plus. And for tomorrow, highs rising into the low to mid 30s, 32 degrees, Fayette, 35 in Cedar Rapids, and 35 in Washington. Definitely feeling a little bit more like winter. Speaking of winter, we have more chances for some snow showers. Thursday, we could see a round of snow come in Thursday afternoon and lingering into Thursday night. Friday and Saturday, we get a little bit of a break before another chance for some snow showers potentially comes in for this weekend. Now, this is definitely not set in stone. We're going to have more updates to the forecast as we progress through the week with this system. So just again, check back for any updates. Now, in addition to the snow, we're going to see temperatures really drop, especially at the end of the week into the upcoming weekend. We're going to have some colder air come in from the north, and it's not going to feel very pleasant. So the 40s we've been experiencing over the last couple of days, hope you enjoyed them because now they are gone. Look at that, 27 degrees on Thursday with that snow. Highs only in the teens and potentially the single digits, not this week, but next week. So that means you're going to really have to bundle up there. I'm not ready for any of those single digits, Corey.
I'm not either, but we knew it was coming. January always delivers. There's been very few Januaries where it's been what I would describe as warm a lot of the time. So, yeah, I guess it's just going to happen.
January is always bad and just kind of have to get through it.
For winter lovers, though, there is a lot to like on that 9-day.
It's fair, a lot of snow. The coldest is what I think is going to get to me. The snow I can deal with,
yeah.
Especially we need at least 1 or 2 good winter storms a year. But like, if we could have highs like not dip below 20, I'd be okay with that. Unfortunately, it will get cold.
Now, in my mind, I associate New Year's with cold. I don't know about you. That's for me, it just seems like there's been all these New Year's Eves and nights that have been very much on the chilly side.
There have definitely been warmer ones, though. I definitely remember at least some New Year's being able to go outside with just like a winter coat and still being comfortable. Others, though, you can go outside no matter what you wear. It's going to be cold. Very
true. And let's take a look back on your weather rewind this week at some of those New Year's days and what we can expect because of that sort of climatology. In fact, the coldest New Year's, at least in Cedar Rapids, took place in 2018. 7 below was the high temperature there. That is awfully chilly. 0 was a recent one as well in 1974. 2010 at 5 degrees, but then you have to go back farther in the decades to get to something that makes this list. Now this year, as Hannah showed you, we're not going to make that list. The coldest ever was in 2018 at night. 21 below in Dubuque, 24 below in Cedar Rapids, a couple of pairs of 21s below 0 again in Iowa City and Waterloo. So it has been quite cold in those recent years. 2018 obviously sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, in terms of the warmest New Year's, well, at least in terms of what we set our record highs at, you have to go back to a couple of centuries ago. At the 19th century, the very tail end of it, 63 in Cedar Rapids and Dubuque, 61 in Waterloo, 64 in Iowa City. Everyone universally setting their record for January 1st on that date in that year. It's hard to get to the 60s in January anytime, so it's no shock that if they did, that would be the record that stands. 2017, 1 below zero. It looks like we may be off by a year here in terms of our coldest New Year's, so we'll go ahead and skip ahead to the recent history in terms of how many highs in which section. Only 12 New Year's since 1953 have been 40 degrees or above. The most common outcome is a high in the 30s, which tracks with about where our normal highs are. But there have been those years, 5 of them, with single digits or less in terms of our highs. So it can vary quite a bit from year to year. We'll actually look back at a year in 1999. That's an old headline there, but a snowstorm that struck in the first few days of 1999 provided some pretty significant snow. In fact, by statewide average, which was 8.6 inches when you take all of the observations all around the state and average them out, that was the heaviest snowfall in almost 20 years in the state, 1979 being the last time that it was that high. Now, some totals were in excess of 10 inches across most of the southeast half of the state. Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Waterloo, Dubuque all saw more than 10 inches with this storm system. Winds also turned gusty, caused difficult travel, also brought in much colder temperatures falling below zero after that storm moved through. Unfortunately, that storm system across the country killed 36 people. And 3 people in Iowa were killed in various circumstances, one from shoveling too heavy of snow and had a medical emergency, other people in car crashes. So yes, winter obviously can be very serious. This year we're getting away with it though, in terms of it not being that bad around here.
That is a pretty bad snowstorm. I expect kind of those kind of statistics with the deaths maybe in like the early 1900s, but when you said that was 1999, that kind of stuck out to me because that is a little bit more recent. Yeah,
and it just affected such a wide area too. And like that date said, January 1st through 3rd. And that was when the snow was falling. Then we had the cold air after that, and I think that was all wrapped up into that. I do remember this system when I was growing up. I remember notably school being canceled after winter break, which is always super exciting, get that extra day off. And on our 9-day forecast, well, there's the opportunity for some snow toward the end of some people's winter breaks here.
That's right. We are tracking actually a couple of chances for some snow in the 9-day forecast. The most recent one is going to be tonight. We're looking at some chances for some snow showers overnight tonight. Looking ahead to New Year's Eve though, so through tomorrow morning, we're looking at about a trace to 1 inch of snow across eastern Iowa. Again, those highest amounts are going to be to the south, but pretty much everywhere tomorrow you're seeing snow falling. You're going to want to watch for those slick spots. If you're going anywhere tomorrow morning, just be kind of cautious with that. And of course, we have the New Year. We have in New Year's Day history, last year 29 degrees. It's not too far off from what we're expecting this year, 28 degrees and partly cloudy. Then looking ahead to Friday. Now Friday, you notice, doesn't have any snow on it, but I'm going to highlight it because it is going to be pretty cold in terms of those wind chills on Friday. Wind chills on Friday in the morning are expected to be in the single digits, pretty close to zero. So bundling up if you're going out Friday morning is going to be important. And then Friday afternoon, likely wind chills staying in the single digits and teens. And then we have Sunday. So Sunday we've got another chance for some precipitation, kind of another snow chance. So with all of this winter weather in the forecast, going over some of those safety tips, if you are going to go outside, make sure to wear lots of clothing, limit your time outside, check on others, watch for those icy spots, even if you're walking, not just driving, but walking outside, be very careful about that. Car, you need to check your battery, check your tire pressure, have your jumper cables ready. Fun fact, over the last couple of months, I've needed all 3 of those. So don't be like me, be prepared and make sure to get those checked. And then make sure your furnace is working at home, your carbon monoxide detectors, all of that. Bring your pets inside, make sure that they aren't stuck out in the snow with fresh water available for them if they are outside. Because of all of these chances for snow, we have to start kind of thinking about that. And we've got cold temperatures expected Tuesday, 12 degrees, potentially not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday afterwards, only 7 degrees for the high. When I had to look at that in the forecast earlier today, I was just a little bit sad. That's going to be pretty cold.
Yeah, I think I speak for both of us when we say that if we really could control the weather, we probably wouldn't let that happen.
No, I'm good with like snow and winter weather and cold until December 26th. Then I'm really over it.
Okay, fair enough. You want this? You want the Christmas spirit to come with it?
Just Christmas spirit snow. After that, like part of me dies a little bit every time I have to deal with that cold.
Well, hopefully it won't be that bad then, but we're going to keep an eye on it as we get closer. For tonight, enjoy the rain-snow mix that we have, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back here again, not tomorrow night most likely. We're going to take a little bit of a holiday break again, but later this week as we're heading toward the weekend. Have a great night.